Good day, everyone, and thank you for being here for a self care Sunday on a very much self care Monday. We were hit with 2 feet of snow here in Philadelphia, and I started my self care Sunday, as you can see. What I do is I record first and then I do the voice over after. And I took a break. I had to edit my video first and make sure I got everything that wasn't supposed to be there out. And I said, let me take a break. Let me see what's going on. I heard a lot of rain outside and we had some lunch. And the next thing you know, like we're, you know, in this massive blizzard, and I just never got back up here. My internet was going in and out. Google wouldn't turn on. It was like, oh, just unplug me and plug me back in again and I'll work. But the snow was so wet and heavy. So anyway, here's what we're working on. I'm pulling it out before my next book reading. I was going to take this out for my book reading. Look at how gorgeous this canvas is. I mean, really, look at that bed. And I'm just trying to decide, like, where do I want to begin here? So present me is telling you what past me did here. I looked it over and I have, I did kitted this kit and I put it in my art dot containers with the DMC codes. And so I am going to be working that way, which is different for me. I have a little tear there, so I have to repair that. Oh, and I'm showing you my tea. My tea, I get those little dried fruits, believe it or not, from Temu. And I don't drink them like that, but they do elevate my tea. It's just a little self-care tip. It just makes it really sweetened the tea because that was like a slice of lemon and I think a slice of melon, um, and some berries, dried berries. And it just sweetened it makes it look pretty too. But it did really sweeten it. So I have a tear there, so I'm repairing my tear. And I took this out because of two viewer questions, comments that I received. I'm just looking at how beautiful this looks. Like, I don't see this when I'm on top of it. I just look at, like, where am I going to put the tape at? I didn't measure anything out. I don't even think I realized that that was the bed. But when you see it on the camera, and I could see that drape in the background and the beautiful covers. And I love this part of the canvas because this is the part of the canvas that I noticed something. And that's probably why I went up the side. I noticed something in this canvas and I made a remark. And I've told you guys already that Curtis, I have Curtis on my mind. That's another story because I just got out of a question with Curtis Rekovich. I commented, and Ivan Velikovic said, "Good catch, Elisa. Not too many people caught that." And so I went up the side of this canvas because I wanted to see if I could spot more stuff. And then I just got so frustrated. And I really did have a good time with this canvas. Yesterday, diamond painting, and only when I turned the camera off. I continue to diamond paint, and I'm going to give you guys a glimpse of what that looks like, how far I got so far. It was only when I got to one part where everything around it was already diamond painted, it was already drilled in, and I had to get one drill into its drill space, and it shot up, and the other one next to it shot up because the space was tight and it hit me in the face. I was like, that's it, I'm done. I'm going downstairs. I need to make more tea, have some lunch. Let me not get frustrated with this kid. Okay, back to the video. Sorry, guys, I had to get that. It was my mom. And it was another reason why I was so drained yesterday because my mom is a state over, not far from me. However, she got even more snow than we did, and she's by herself. And so this was all working on my anxiety, which will just burn a lot of your energy. But I got a question from two of my, one member, one subscriber. And, these, even though you answer your questions, some things linger with you. So let me grab my notes. And both of those comments were the basis of this Self Care Sunday. 1 second. So, what I first want to say, besides the um, question that stayed with me this week and the comment that stayed with me this week, is if no one was watching, what would I choose next? As a content creator, that question hits differently. But I think it hits differently for anyone who's ever felt watched, either by expectations, by goals, or by their own inner voice. I think we carry an invisible audience with us even when no one is there. So this week, two comments landed and they kind of settled in my heart. One from someone who's been creating a long time, and one from someone who's just beginning. So, Melissa is a member of mine, and I was talking about this was actually in my members section. We dive a little bit deeper there. And we were talking about how we tackle our whips and going through our stash, because Lizette from Lizette Craft and Tells has got us all started on really looking at our kits and destashing them, and starting with our oldest kits first and getting them out of the way so that we can get newer kits. And like, how is everyone feeling with that, And Melissa was saying that when she has her active projects that she's working on, how she tackles her whips. She has her D-stash that she has, and she still likes them. There might be one or two that, like all of us, it's kind of like, oh, I went and got this, and at the time it was great. And I feel like that with a few that I have in my closet. I have a couple of canvases that I'm like, do I still feel the same way about this? And I don't want to feel guilty about it. There's Facebook pages where we can destash our kits, and I'm probably going to do that. I'm probably, even though as a content creator, I open them up, I show them to you, I will give them away at half the price of whatever, because they're archived. You're not going to be able to get them, but I do realize that they're open. And I think it's kind of cool that I can attach the video that you can see that I opened it and repacked it up, and then it just went in my closet. But I think Melissa hit a point that I think most of us feel like, if we don't get to these kits, we're not as excited maybe as our older kids as we are our newer kids, but we want to get through the older kids because we don't want to feel like we've ignored them or we've abandoned them, which was another thing that really sat with me. And just having all these goals that you want to hit, but you can only choose one, right? I have this problem too, of being really ambitious, of having so many things that I want to do, but which one do I start with? Which one is the right one? And I think that that's where, it's so wonderful having a community that you can talk to. So, and just realize that you're not alone, like, and you're not crazy. You're not so different. We all have the same kind of dilemma. And Melissa was saying, like, I feel like I have these separate goals and I have to choose one: finish my whip, refresh my stash, do my favorites. There just isn't time to do them all. And what she said is what hit wrong. It feels like each decision is the wrong one. And I just want to feel content with what I decide. So I let that land for a few seconds about how we have that wanting to do it all, but we have to pick one. And is it the right one? Like, you just want to feel settled and content in what it is that you choose. So without getting too into a long explanation, I want to be able to give you something that is like something that you can carry in your pocket, kind of like micro forms. And I'm very aware that people think differently. So when you're in that place where things feel overwhelming, and like what choice is the right choice, at the core of your decision making, contentment doesn't come from choosing the right thing. It comes from choosing one thing and then letting the rest go and just staying present with what you chose. Now, for some of you, that's going to be like, yeah, that's what I need. That's what I needed to hear. And I will be giving you some permission slips also in this little talk today. And then there's the thinker that thinks when every choice feels wrong, like Melissa said, I have these three choices. I can do this, or that. But like, I just want to feel content. But, every choice doesn't feel like the right choice. I would say choose the one that lets you breathe. Again, it comes down to contentment. And contentment grows when you feel present, not perfection. This is something that I learned in yoga. I was learning chaturanga, right? Chaturanga is the break in your yoga flow, in your vinyasa flow. You do your vinyasa flow and then you break down, you do a chaturanga. It's kind of like a push up, and you move up into, and you move down into a low push up, and then you move up, and then you move back into a downward dog. And like, every time I went down into a push up, my elbows wanted to go out to the side. But if I tucked my elbows in as I thought the instruction was, I was having a harder time because, our shoulder joints are made differently and it didn't feel comfortable to me. And my instructor was like, "Why are you having such a problem with this?" I'm like, "Well, because my elbows want to go out and I know that that's not right." And she's like, "There is no right. There's only well, she was saying what feels good, but I would imagine, like, what is contentment for you? You can just replace the word, and words are so powerful. We have words that make us stop and halt, and they rub us the wrong way, and then you have words that make you feel good. And so then I started to do chaturanga with my elbows out, and then coming up into my upward facing dog and going back into my downward facing dog, and then flowing back up again, and boom, it's contentment. If you're going to get lost in perfection, I think that it just causes, because it doesn't feel good. It doesn't feel good. You're basically giving yourself the instruction to not feel good because something else works. So choose the one. When every choice feels wrong, choose the one that lets you breathe. And remember that your contentment grows in what feels good and being present and not feeling like you have to make the perfect choice. And the same way that we reframe with words, you can reframe your thinking. You don't have to love your choice forever. You only have to be at peace for it for now, and that's enough. And you can always change your peace. Like I was saying in the beginning of this video, like, I put this canvas on my desk and I was like, okay, let's see. I wasn't feeling it, a few months ago. In fact, I made a note in my journal for November how much I still loved this canvas, but I couldn't get back to it right now. I have to be in a state of mind where I'm feeling like I can deal with the drill popping out and hitting me in the face. And then it was like, okay, time to reframe this choice. I was at peace with you for a little bit, and now you're testing my peace. So I'm going to go have lunch, and then I'm going to come back. Oh, I never did come back. But when I sat down here today to pick up where I left off from yesterday, I was like, I really want to finish this bed today. I really want to do this today. So I didn't have to love my choice forever. I only have to be with peace with it while it's at peace with me. And then that's enough. And then there's those of us who we need the permission slip. Right? Do you remember getting permission slips? Are you old enough to remember getting permission slips in school? They were ultra short. You know what I mean? They had like little check boxes on them. So here's the checkbox. Choose once, stay present, and let that be enough for today. Because again, you can borrow from other um, strategies. You can reframe it. You could be like, no. Um, but if you need just ultra short, choose once, stay present. Let that be enough for today. Tomorrow, when you get up, choose again, stay present. Let that be enough for today, or the morning, or the afternoon, or the evening, whatever it is. Maybe it's for 15 minutes, and you could always change. And then there's also the mantra where um, how would I say this? Um, I lean back into my yoga practice a lot. So when we wanted to make a dedication to our practice, practice could be practicing our diamond painting, letting this be the session. This is a practice also. And you just really settle in with the present. I made a choice. I'm allowed to settle into it. I don't need to defend it. So that could be your mantra, your little diamond painting mantra. I made a choice. I'm allowed to settle into it. I don't need to defend it. I can always change my mind, going back to borrow from other things. It's enough for right now. It's not forever. This is not a life sentence. you know, I can change it. If every option feels both right and wrong, that's okay. Making a choice and allowing yourself to rest inside of it is an act of self-care. Okay, so I want to get into a comment that I received. This is a public comment, so it's there. You can see it. Oh gosh, I'm trying to think of which video it's on. Let me check. Apparently, I just had the comment copied. So this is from Just Lindy, and she was watching me use a tweezer, and she was like, oh, I've been listening to your tips, and the tip that you gave with like alignment by using your eye. So as someone who draws, you don't look at your pencil, you look at where you want to go. And so when I am putting things down on my canvas like washi tape, I look at where I want to go. I'm not looking at the washi tape trying to get it straight. I look at the line that I want to cover, right? Because there's always that one line that we focus in on. It's the same thing with the drawing. You look at where you want to go. Let your eye tell you where your hand is going. And she was saying, well, you're really good with the tweezers, and I'm not very artistic. Diamond painting allows me to be artistic, but apparently I'm using the tweezers wrong. And again, it comes down to practice. I found that the easiest tweezers for me are Dreamer Designs. They pick up brown, they pick up square. So that was part of maybe which would help Lindy um, in her quest to be better at using a tweezer. I like challenging myself. I like being able to use different tools. I like my vacuum pen. I like my pen that I get in Dreamer Designs kits that has like the cone on the bottom where I just wet it and I pick up my AB drills. I try all different things because I have a mind that gets bored easily. It has nothing to do with the tool. I just get bored easily and I wind up dropping one thing and picking up another. And so me and Lindy had a little discussion back and forth, but her comment stayed with me. She's a new beginning diamond. I believe she's a new beginning diamond painter. And she's feeling artistic, and she is, because you will learn through your diamond painting. You will learn about color and palettes and sketching, especially if you hang out with me. I show you how an artist, sometimes sketches out and how your drills are placed on the canvas. I get into all that. I need to have something deeper when I diamond paint. And some people don't, and that's okay. But I think that, it was a very tender moment, and it deserved a little language because pressure dissolves faster than an explanation. So I would say, and I think about like, well, what can I say to make someone feel encouraged about what they're doing, even if they're not good at it just yet. And I really enjoy, even when I'm trying something new, and I say this all the time, I love beginnings. I love them. I love starting something new. I love sitting down to something and not knowing the first thing to do because I think about when you get up from this desk, you're never the same person. And again, this comes back to my yoga teacher training. You come to the mat, you walk in with all your bullshit, you know, you walk into a yoga studio with all your bullshit and stuff. Maybe you had an argument with somebody, maybe something is sticking with you, maybe you're in a good mood, maybe you're excited about something, maybe you have expectations, maybe, you're feeling anxiety, whatever it is. I used to tell my students, leave everything outside the door with your belongings. And if you want to pick them up when you leave, you're welcome to. But when you get up off this mat, you're going to be a totally different person. And I feel like that when I sit down at my desk. I sit down to do something, especially something I don't know anything about. And I'm so excited. I'm so excited because I'm going to learn something. Now, this took a while for me to reframe. And that's exactly what I used. I used the reframing technique. Because when I first started to draw, I was like, well, you're no Michelangelo. And I was like, well, he really didn't draw, he was a sculptor. Well, he did paint, but, I go through all that. But it's like, is it a natural talent? I've been following so many artists on YouTube for years. And now I'm like, this is what consistently practicing something does. Like, I remember when I was watching this one artist draw and the eyes were crooked and one was higher than the other and she couldn't really create a nose without it making looking like something that was just pinned on the model's face. And now she's an exquisite artist because she practiced. That was what she wanted to do. She practiced. So I think that when you just take one drill, there's no perfect way to place a drill. There's just a real one, right? And the skill grows quietly while you're just showing up. And it doesn't take any talent. It only takes permission to want to sit at your desk and let me try that tweezer. And you might pick one. When I was first using a tweezer, I was picking one up and shooting it across the room, shooting it across the room, shooting it across the room, or was like, oh, I got one. And then again, I'm morally ambitious, and then I was like, oh, I want to see if I can get two. It's like, slow your jets. So it took me a while to reframe and also be like, if by wanting to pick up two, you're missing the process that's happening with one. What did you learn here? How did you pick up one? And I'll tell you exactly what happened. I picked up so many that shot across the room that the ends of the tweezer weren't aligned properly anymore. They were kind of like bent. And so I picked up another tweezer, and the tweet the let me tell you, the Diamond Art ones are really long and sleek, but the Dreamer Design ones are a little bit square, and it's just the way that I hold them in my hand. And they give you tweezers for round and square kits. They don't just give them to you in a square kit. Like, I think Dreamer Design only gives you, I think Diamond Art Club only gives you tweezers in their square kits, where Dreamer Design gives you tweezers in their round and square. So I'm like, there's got to be something to this then. And I just I had an easier time, learning how to do it. And so, okay, that was my long version of how I learn. And Self-Care Sunday is also about being gentle with yourself. And every drill that you place, you might think, oh, it's just a drill. It's practice. It's not proof. You're learning. You're not being graded. You know how many times I place one drill perfectly in the drill space and I still amaze myself? I'm like, oh, what did I do? Well, I'll tell you what I do. I look at the drill space. I don't look at the drill on the pen, on the tweezer, on the vacuum pen. Look at the drill space. And every time I look at, and it's like such practice for me. It's like, is this theory really true? And I've been using this theory for a long time. Is this really true that if I look at the drill space, I'm going to hit the drill space? Well, again, going back to, I talk about Tony Robbins. I've been listening to Tony Robbins a lot, and he still uses this analogy. If you're losing control of your car and you're saying, I don't want to hit the wall, I don't want to hit the wall, but you're looking at the wall, you're going to hit the wall because your eyes are going to go. You're going to go where your eyes are looking at. So don't look at the wall, look at the road, get back on the road, or get out of the road, or whatever it is. Like, it's quick thinking, but you can reframe yourself here and practice here, and you can take it out into the world for other things that are going on in your life. I don't know what they might be, but we always get what we focus on, don't we? It's like two people going to a party, and one focuses on everything that's wrong. Well, they didn't have this. Oh, the music was too loud. Oh, I didn't like that person that they invited. And then another person could just be like, I don't know that person. I'm going to go over and meet them. Oh, I really like this music. Or they had this food. Or, I was surprised to see so-and-so there. And they have a great time. And the other person had a miserable time. You get what you focus on. So, like, just going back to it, every drill that you place is practice, not proof. And I do practice looking at the drill space and placing my drill. Try it. Look at the drill space and don't look at the drill, and see if you hit the drill space. As for reframing tweezers, or any other tool that you are looking at or comes onto the scene. We have so many different things now. I have been slowly being lured into Forever Young because they have great promos, shorts. And I'm like, what's that? What is that? And so I'm thinking, oh, this is something that'll up my game. But tweezers and rulers and vacuum pens, they aren't a test of precision. They're just another way of touching the canvas. Now, they help. I'm not trying to discourage you from using any of those things, but they're another way of touching the canvas. And so if you're making a choice and you're being deliberate and you're sitting down with your choice, this is something else that you should ask yourself. What brings contentment? Is it using the tweezer? Is it using my vacuum pen? Is it using my putty? Is it using my wax? And those decisions too are not forever. those decisions are also temporary because weather changes. Maybe the vacuum pen starts to make a noise now. Maybe the tweezer is not, oh yeah, I mastered that. Don't need it anymore. Maybe I want a really nice diamond painting pen. They're just another way of touching your canvas. And so I'm also going to reframe this into a permission slip. Short and sweet. You don't have to be good at this yet. You just have to be here. I didn't know the first thing I was doing. I didn't even know what a diamond painting was. My son introduced it to me because I had just lost my Yorkie of almost 19 years. And as I've always said, I was so thrilled that my Yorkie was having a long life and I gave him a good life and he went with me everywhere. And everybody knew him. He had his own Facebook page, Mr. Honor. He wasn't my first Yorkie. He was my second. Mr. Love was my first. Well, Love. There was Love and Mr. Honor. But Mr. Honor was just like a little postage stamp. He was just sewn to me and just oh my gosh, just a personality. And when he was gone, I nobody prepares you for that pain of them being gone. I just thought I was very content. It was like I gave him a good life. He was the best buddy, but I was really lost and spiraling. And my son said, "You love, crafts, Mom, paint." I was like, "I just don't feel like doing it, Josh." And he's like, "Oh, there's just company. It's called Timu." This was like 6 years ago, maybe longer. And he's like, "They got all kinds of crafts. You should look at them." And then when I looked at them, I was like, "Well, wait a minute. That's Dina Wakely and that's Tim Holtz." And, I seen like things being like, well, everybody gets their stuff made in China and then there's no protection on the intellectual property. And then, China just makes it and sells it at a lower cost. But I was like, what are these things? I was crocheting at the time. I'm a cross stitcher. I crochet. I've never done paint by numbers, but I was like, I didn't understand what this was. And so I order something that, angel wings, I think they were. And of course, because they were reminding me that's where my head was at. My head was on Honor, being my little angel now. I didn't know what I was doing. I pulled the plastic off, but I was able to focus my mind on something other than my sorrow and on my grief. And I didn't have to be good at it. I just had to show up and be there. And the drills were crap and the glue stunk, But I learned something that I didn't know how to do. And I just had to be there to learn how to do it. So what I would say while I look at myself on the camera, and if you're watching my hands and thinking, "Oh, you should be better by now," you just know. I don't know how perfect I'm being here right now, because actually my putty needs to be changed here. and I just want to I'm a multi-placer, and this canvas really dictates using a tweezer. But while I'm in those open spaces, I was like, let me try and use my multi-placer. And this is another gadget, just another way of touching the canvas. This is another gadget that I got from Temu that puts all my different placers on there. And for one thing, I always know where my placers are. But it's just another way of touching the canvas. So if I just want you to know that the beauty isn't maybe how you see this as being perfect. Oh, it looks perfect. It's the time that you give yourself. That's the beauty. It's not how it looks. It's the time that you give yourself, because we do make time to do our diamond painting. I just did like a really quick scroll on Facebook because I wanted another Sacred Heart canvas. And I found one like really quickly, and I was like, "Oh, it's meant to be." And I reached out to the seller on the D-Stash community, and then that was it. I couldn't get back online, and I got back today, and I was like, Lisa, I'm so sorry. Yes, I still want her, and she's like, I'm sorry, I sold her, and I'm like, well, probably because I'm bragging about her so badly that I probably I'll be really interested to know if anybody got that on the D-Stash. Um, what my idea was to do this one as is and then do another one because I'm enjoying it so much. Contentment again. I have a whole closet full of canvases, but this canvas is bringing me such joy that I want to do it again. I just started it. I just put the first drills down, and I knew when I put those first drills down, I'm like, I'm getting another one. I've never felt like that before. I'm getting another one, and I intend to get another one, find another one, and enhance that one. I really wanted to enhance this one, but I'm like, no, I'm going to get another one, do it again, and enhance it the way that I want. So, um, yeah. So that's that. They were my two comments that really inspired um, this week's Self Care Sunday. I know that we usually read Mark Nepo, and I go down into a more um, spiritual type of program, but I also think that it's good to touch base here also when it comes to, especially since I think Self Care Sunday is evolving, just like most of our diamond painters are. Like, I'm watching a lot of diamond painters really evolve out of their comfort zones and really take on new ventures. Like, Lizette is doing interviews now and speaking to people. And we have Ditzy, whose trays I'm using, and she's ventured into being she's not a 3D printer. I say this all the time, but she's ventured into 3D printing. And even though she said I do feel like a 3D printer, she's ventured into 3D printing, and she's printing, these, just another step. Like, who wouldn't want to get a tray from a diamond painter that knows what a diamond painter wants and needs? It was like that when I had my makeup company. I was so tired of buying makeup. I sold makeup. I worked in department stores. I worked in just a makeup. It was back in the day, it would have been like a Sephora or an Ulta. And like, I must have tested like 100 mascaras. And let me tell you, it's the same thing with foundation and concealer. There's like there's 100 concealers, or foundations or mascaras. They're only good for a handful of girls, so you got to really weed your way through. So who wouldn't want to buy a diamond painting or a diamond painting tray from someone who's been there? And like, I know what I want from a tray. I'm a diamond painter, you know. So I just think that Self Care Sunday has evolved into, especially with Lizette having us go in our closet and touch our diamond paintings that are in there. Touch your diamond paintings. How do you still feel about them? You bought them at a time that you were really excited, but you don't have to be committed to them. You're not abandoning them. Maybe it will come back to you that you want to do them again, or you'll get that feeling again, or maybe someone else has that feeling and you want to release them and let them go, and that's okay. I think sometimes we confuse completion with worthiness, especially at this time of the year when, we just entered into 2026, and there's all these, this is what I did. This is my last year. This is what I did. And you might feel like, wow, I didn't really like, I know I didn't. And I'm a content creator for diamond painting, and I couldn't even find my diamond paintings that I did complete. If they're not hanging on the wall, I don't know where they are. So they're rolled up in my closet. And so did I do a year end completion of what did I accomplish in 2025? No. Can I say that it played a little bit with my worthiness? Yeah, because I went through the same thoughts maybe as you did. Maybe you felt like I should finish this. I shouldn't abandon that. Or the worst, I don't deserve anything new yet. Let that breathe with you for a second. I don't deserve the new thing yet. And then suddenly, when I sat with that and I let that breathe with me, like I'm not buying any new canvases yet. And Lizette brought this up to me. She's like, how are you going to feel when a new canvas comes out and you're not going to get it and you really want it? You know how much you love Curtis. And I let that breathe with me for a minute. And I was like, no, I'm sorry. I have enough in my closet. I don't, do you know, because we're also going through this type of thing with, what are they called? Influencers. I'm not an influencer. I'm not here to influence you to buy anything. I'm here to share my joy with you. I'm here to share what I love doing. I'm here to to touch and meet the community. I love that I just said to Melissa this morning, she gave me a little feedback on the book that we're reading together called Gaslight. We're not reading it together, I'm reading to you guys. Um, and I said, and she had like a little insight on what she thinks, Gabrielle too. She's like, I think this. And Melissa's like, I think that. I'm like, this is what I love about being in a community, that I get to hear what you think. And I think maybe some of us, you know, we get confused and we think that completion means worthiness at times, and that I should finish this. I shouldn't abandon that. I don't deserve something new until I finish what I have. I have enough, and there's like this whole minimalistic thing that's going on right now because influencers have really destroyed. I mean, I never felt comfortable watching an influencer open, and I'm not talking about diamond painting. I'm talking about um influencers that get like, you know, 15 bottles of foundation in a beautiful box with like all these, extras. And I'm like, this is just like, what are you going to do with this? Like, do you do makeup? Do you do makeup on other people? Do you gift it away? You have so much, and then you go into their rooms and they have boxes and boxes and boxes with all these names. And like, nobody lives like this. No one. And if you do, you're broke. I'm sorry. Unless you're a trust fund baby. Yeah, maybe. And even if you are, what are you doing with all this stuff? So I think that there was a little bit of that going on where I was saying to myself, you have enough. You have enough. Finish what you started. And again, this comes from your childhood. Finish your plate. Clean your plate. You're not getting dessert until you finish your plate. There's all kind of stuff going on. And again, this comes back again to my yoga teacher training. I would get up sometimes and I would take classes with my teachers, and I would be like, am I really still carrying this shit around from the fourth grade? Because something would come up in my mind. I'd be like, where did that come from? And I have this happen also too in diamond painting. All of a sudden I'll be thinking about something and I'll be like, am I really still carrying this around with me? When am I going to process this? But we have other triggers. And so um finishing what is in my closet, which was going on with me, I was confusing that with cleaning my plate and not having dessert. So until I do, and I had to let that breathe. And when I did, it was suddenly I had the realization that joy, or I had not the realization, but or realizing what I thought joy was, that joy felt like something that had to be earned. Let that sit with you for a while. And what I can say now that I'm looking at my notes, but then there's other things that are coming up for me because this is like an evolving thing. This is why this stuff keeps coming up. But I can't help but think about being in that beginner's heart again, just like Lindy, presence over perfection with the tweezers comment, that she felt like she wasn't doing it right yet. That beginning, that beginning heart is so sacred. And I said it earlier, for everything you don't know, when you sit down at your desk, even if you spend 5 minutes, you're not the same person when you stand up. But in speaking to you now and looking at my notes, we're always in a beginner's heart, aren't we? It's like, just coming to the realization that it wasn't about not buying anything because of the influencers that are in this overconsumption and over excess, and now they're just changing their game. They're now in this where they're like, oh no, I'm gonna, my authenticity is being challenged now, and so I'm on a no buy, and I am not going to buy for the month, for the year, and this is what I'm doing. I'm getting rid of my excess. And I don't know, maybe they are um really authentic about that, but I think they've had such a shock that they are now saying, what do I have to do to regain my audience? And there's, just look up I think the one girl that was like the really big influencer that is really having a hard time trying to get into the fact that no one lives like you. Nobody puts their makeup on in a Rolls Royce. Like that was, I think that was her. That was actually one of her little, because I love makeup artists. I love learning. And I think that was one of hers. Like, oh, look at me putting a makeup on in the Rolls Royce with all my fun stuff that I got, PR packages that I got for free that you're going to go out and, like, you could go out and put a mortgage down on a house, but no, because you want to live like me. I'm influencing you. Like, this is happiness. It's like when you look at it, it's just like, no, it isn't. This is not happiness. You are lost somewhere in some rabbit hole somewhere because all this stuff and you still need more. So I was kind of like, maybe I was watching too much of that and it was confusing my thinking. But I think also today, um, true joy, and so many of you say to me, like Gabrielle just said to me, she watched my Sacred Heart video. She's like, I love how excited you get over Sacred Heart because I love her. Yeah, I do. I do. And I love that you catch that fever. You catch that excitement. And I want you to be, if not excited about diamond painting, to find what brings you joy. Because I didn't think twice about, oh no, I have enough diamond paintings in my closet. I didn't think twice about getting another sacred art. I'm still trying to process that I'm going to get a diamond painting that I have already and do it over again. Because I've seen Katie do this on Diamonds and Washi. And I remember her saying, I love this canvas so much, I'm going to do it again. I'm like, do it again. Why would you do it again? You have, like, and I think she had just disclosed how many diamond paintings she had. I'm like, you have so many diamond paintings, you're going to do it again. But it brings her joy. It brings her joy. And all I can say about this right now, this big aha moment that I'm having in real time with you guys, is that learning has its hills and valleys, and it's a landscape. It's a beautiful landscape. And I think that choosing my personal surprise of choosing joy twice um, just kind of grounds this experience that I'm having in real time with you guys right now when we're speaking about joy. And just even like I'm again, like I'm in real time now and I'm speaking and I'm not looking at notes because I'm having all these like aha moments. It's so different from who I thought I was supposed to be, especially with a full closet full of canvases. But here's the truth, right? It's bringing me joy. And repeating joy isn't regression, it's recognition. And I just came to that when I was speaking about Katie, because I was like, wait a minute, you're going to do this canvas again? Because you're like, and I probably did look at it that way. Like, it's kind of like, you're not moving forward, are you? Like, you have all these canvases and you're going to be doing, because this is your channel and you're so popular and everybody loves you and you're on top of all the new canvases and you get all the, you know, you get I would imagine she gets canvases from, I think her biggest one is Diamond. I don't think I've ever seen Katie do anything. Well, I've seen Katie do other ones other than Diamond Art Club, but I think the majority of her channel is Diamond Art Club, and I'm sure Diamond Art Club puts all their new releases under her because she has such a captive audience and does such a wonderful job. And so I guess that's why I was like, wow, you got so many like new canvases coming at you. You know, like I know, like I had fear when I heard her say she was going to do it again. I had fear. I'm like, oh God, could I be able to make a decision like that if I had such a big audience? It would be like, what? But we don't want to see you do this again. Like I'm actually thinking for you guys, like, I want to see you do this again. So repeating joy. It isn't regression. It's recognition. This brings me joy. And I think you come to these realizations like I am right now because I carved this time out to speak to you guys and to spend this time with myself, with my words, with my journal, what I wrote down already. And I'm coming to even more moments of realization. And I think even returning to um, vision of the past for this video is a canvas that has been on pause. And I had to sit with that. I knew I loved this canvas. There was no decision making like, well, it's on pause. Maybe you just don't want to do it anymore. Maybe you don't have the same feeling about it. No, this canvas is very important to me. I love this canvas from the moment that I saw it because it reminds me so much of I'm living in John's house since we got married. It's our house. It's like our house. He hates when I say John's house, Elisa's house, but I'm just making a distinction without giving you our address. But my house that I lived in for 30 years, I cultivated my bedroom and it looks like this room. So when I saw this canvas and when I was living out in New York, because I had businesses out there, my ex-husband wanted to sell our house and buy something in New York. And I was like, no, it's never going to happen. Get it out of your head. I am not selling my house. I love my house, but I also love New York. And I was like, if I could pick my house up and move it to New York, I would move, you know? And that's what this canvas reminds me of. It reminds me of my bedroom in Philadelphia, looking out the window and seeing New York City. So I I I fell in love with this canvas and all the little secrets that are buried in this canvas. But it has been on pause, and I had to sit with that and had to come up with my own um, feelings about things being paused, especially when you're a person like I am that's always moving forward, moving forward, moving forward. And the feeling that I had with this canvas was like so many of my canvases was that I abandoned them. And paused doesn't mean abandoned. Sometimes. Sometimes it just means waiting for the right moment to be met again. And I do believe that this canvas was like I was looking for a way to fit it back in, and I thought that I would do it with my next reading, my next Gothic reading that I do, that I would take this canvas out because there are like little Gothic elements in here that for me just look that way. And maybe the right moment was just being in this place that I'm in now. I think it does. Sometimes it just means waiting for the right moment to be met, and I'm coming to this realization as I watch my hands place the drills. I'm enjoying touching the canvas with a tweezer, with a vacuum pen, with my little gadget that I got from Temu. I don't know where I come back into this canvas. I know that I do. But I want you to carry some permission slips with you this week. So, permission slip number one, permission to choose what brings you peace right now. Not forever, just now. Okay, permission slip to carry in your heart this week is permission to rest projects without guilt. Rest
Painting,
is not quitting.
painting.
And this is a big one. Permission slip number three, permission to follow joy without earning it. You don't have to finish first to deserve joy. And to Melissa and Lindy and to everyone who just feels torn between choices, thank you for giving voice to something that so many of us feel. You're not behind. You're not doing it wrong. You're allowed to choose peace. I'm grateful you're here. Even if the margins, even if it's in the margins of busy evenings. And Melissa, that one's for you. Each time we sit down, we begin again, and that beginning is enough. Thank you, friends, for being here. John walked in just as I put the last drill on, and I'm opening a little something that I got from Temu, and I think I share it with you guys. And I'm going to share where I am with this canvas because I got done a lot more than what you're seeing right here. Make no plans because you never know what's going to happen. So when he came in, he said, "I have a package for you." I think this is from my paisana. I think this is from Donna. Anyway, I just wanted to give you a little feedback. I don't know what I'm talking about right now because again, I do my diamond painting and then I record over it sometimes. To say that this wasn't, I mean, I love that I'm getting back to something that I put away. And I really, after doing a lot of thinking and, basing this week's Self Care Sunday on, comments that you make. And um, I don't know if I read the comment from Melissa. I don't know if I read the comment from, it's someone new. She just joined she's a new subscriber. I'll put her name down below. But, their comments are public. So, and she's just starting and she's like, asking questions. And I started to think about my own journey and, how many decisions I think are wrong. Or they don't feel right. Not wrong, but they don't feel right. I really try to be guided by, especially this year. I mean, I didn't make any, I haven't made resolutions in such a long time. I just, every day my life is a resolution to make a choice to do whatever. Um, but this year just felt different. I think, I've always looked back on the past year and thought about, it's why I think it's so important to keep a journal so that then you could really, Tony Robbins said this, and I heard this years ago when I had just started listening to Tony Robbins, and it had to be like in the 80s when I was listening to him, and he said, if your life is worth living, it's worth recording. And I have boxes full of journals. Over the years, they're all composition books. And not that I go back and read any of them because they're here, because when you write something down, it gets locked into your mind. And I went over the past year, and, and I talked to other creators, and they asked questions, and I was just telling Lizette this morning how I think, how I've been seeing everybody grow, including myself. And, to be doing this, it's going to be 4 years in April, and to see people are now moving into podcasts, or they're moving into creating diamond painting accessories, or they're branching out and, meeting people or holding interviews. It's just wonderful to see all that. So, but when I go back in my mind and I think about what I've watched and how I've watched them, hills and valleys, like I was talking about, or at least I wrote about it. I don't know if I talked about it. I look at my own journey too, and where I am. So I don't know if I had said this earlier or not. This is the kind of conundrum that you're in when you are recording, and then you're going to do, I have a journal and I wrote everything down, and I'm going to be reading from my journal, and this is the conundrum. Like, I would say last year when I thought about this canvas, I was like, I don't want this to be another canvas that I roll up and I don't take back out, because I love this canvas. It has a deep meaning to me. Like other canvases, like there's Bud, and he's not done. The Tabby Cat, and he looks just like Foofy, but that's a mosaic, and it's driving me a little bonkers. And then I have Woman in Gold. I don't even know, was she going on her second or third year with me? And she's not done yet. But I think I felt like I did what I had to do with that, which was have a master class on Klimt. And I don't know, maybe that's all it was there to serve for, to be a master class. But this, I'm going to say, if you saw me playing around with the white drills, and I'm kind of like anxious about this storm that we're having. It was 8 inches, and it was 10 inches, and it was 12 inches, and now it's like 18 to 24 inches. And, my mom's, the next state over. My son has to go to work, and if he goes to work, he's going to be trapped. He's not going to be able to get out. It's like all this stuff is going on in my mind, and I had looked up a few times. I'm like, what are you recording? One time I wasn't recording, and one time I was like, what are you recording? What are you doing? You're not even, you're somewhere else in the room. Your video, I don't know, maybe it was the wall. I don't know what the hell I was videotaping. But that's where my mind is. And but if you saw me with the white drills, the clear drills, these drills, now these are really kind of odd. They some of them are very high and clear. They look like glass, and some of them are low, and they have like a crosshatch on them. It's really bizarre. Like, and this is like, and then I had the orange ones out, which are ABs, and some of them were coated with the AB coating, and some of them weren't. And I've had this problem before with Dreamer Design, so I want to let you look at these. Do you see how, hopefully I have enough light, do you see this like kind of crosshatch? I thought maybe they were on their backs. Or maybe there's just not a drill on there. There's like a crosshatch there. And then there's these that are kind of high up and clear. Like all these are high up and clear. And then you have this, like it's kind of like, it kind of looks like it's on its back. And I'm like, is there even, there is a diamond on there. But this diamond looks totally different than this diamond. And so I'm trying to keep these guys next to them, next to each other, and these guys next to each other, because this one is absolutely higher than this one. I'm showing you this on my finger. And, like this is the dilemma that I have with Dreamer Design sometimes, I don't know. I also have, being that the present me is going to be talking to the future me, I will read for you what the email I got from Donna, because I did say to her, "Hey, I'm doing it's called Secret Heart on their box, but it's called Sacred Heart on the I think it's called Sacred Heart on the canvas." I'm just thinking about this now. What's the matter with me? No, it's called Sacred Heart on the canvas, but it's called Secret Heart on the box. So anyway, I had told her how much I love this canvas, and she was like, "Oh, it's so good to hear," but she never really clarified if they ever had resin drills. So, I think she went into the squares and that the rounds were acrylic. But I'll read it to you because maybe I'm not getting it. 'Cause that could be very, very true. Let me not put these in the wrong. So that was a dilemma there. The orange ones, some of them were had AB coating on them, some of them didn't, and I had this problem with Daydreamer. She's coming to the shore with me, Daydreamer. She's getting done, but I also have the other mermaid. I have Ariel, and I haven't done a Diamond Art Club in a long time, and I want to get that done too. So here's where I'm at. I don't know where I'm at with you guys. I love my Ditsy tray. And then you saw I had some of my drills in other trays. And I was like, oh, okay, I'll just fish it out of here. Even though it was my last color, I still poured it. This is turning it. Where did it go? I was going to say, how can things move? I'm right here. This is turning out to be like my favorite tray because I love being able to hold it like that. I think I held my, and this is nice to hold too because it's narrow. Yeah, so, okay, we're going down another road. Should I open this up? Should I save it for another day? The cat's looking at me. All right, cat. Cat heard pepperoni, or he heard something, bread. He likes bread. So, he's not Italian. So, let me put these back, and I hope we're having a good self-care Sunday. And I hope that if you are in the path of this storm, that you are safe and all your loved ones are safe. I was talking to one of my old friends, Pam, and her daughter had to go to work, and she's like, she's going to be stuck in the hospital for 2 days. I'm just like, oh, I don't know. Now, my son's at the casino, and you would think like they would, but when I was at the casino, you have older people, they don't have anywhere to go, or they don't have anyone, and they will go to the casino because they're seen, and because they can meet with people, and because they have friends, and it's so, I'm glad that they have somewhere to go, but it's a shame. If they don't have that, then they're going to be, trapped in this house. They'll probably get there before the storm, and then, they'll stay there. I mean, I when I used to work my shifts, I seen elderly people in the casino for hours. And if it was a slow shift, I'd always walk over and talk to people. I don't know what to say about that, but I'm going to clean my desk. I'm going to look at my canvas. I'm going to show it to you guys. And or maybe I'll diamond paint a baby bit more before I give you guys a little look-see on this. Okay, guys? See you in the next one. Bye. Monday, because I got a delivery from my husband just as I was putting my last drills on, and I think that this is from Donna, so let's open it. I love getting happy mail. Happy mail! I won't show your address, Donna. I'll just show mine. So Donna said to me, I have... Is it from Donna? If it's not from Donna, this video is ending. What did I order? Oh, I ordered a tripod. It's not from Donna. Boo! It's a tripod. I stopped the recording then. I figured, let me show it to you. It's from Temu. It's heavy enough to sit on my desk so that I can take close-up shots for you guys. I have something like this, though, but I leave it downstairs for when I'm recording downstairs. And so, like, everything is in... everything is plastic. Oh, boy. Okay, does this lock? Maybe this locks. Does it lock? Yeah, oh, it locks. Okay, and what is this? We have no idea. Okay. I guess that you must go in here. So it's like there's nothing other than that. Like, there you go. That's it. That's all we got. And I guess it would be, oh, maybe this, oh, I'm saying, what is this? This goes in here. At least I hope it goes in here. Sure it does. Yeah. And then your phone would go in here. And then when I am recording, I can like just hover over somewhere. Oh, that's pretty cool. Let me tell you guys, it was like $10. So that's pretty cool. And I think you could put your phone in here. Oh, I like it. I like it. I do like it. Oh, we'll be getting close-up shots. How about that? Oh, it's kind of cool. Look, I could see I lost one of my drills already. Let me see how I can tighten this. Oh yeah, this is fab. Oh, I love it because I can get like right like where I am. I am also thinking about, I've had my Samsung S23 for, 3 years now, I believe. And they're coming out with the S25, but then next month it's going to be the 26. So I'm really kind of like on the fence of which one I'm getting. I think I'm out of, upgrades and stuff for this one. So, this is pretty cool for $10. You can't go wrong, right? So there we go, another gadget for my desk. And I'll let you know how I make out with my S23, 24, 25, 26. I didn't get the 24, but the 25 is February 25th on the East Coast, because on the West Coast they're doing the S26 in San Diego. So I was like, what's going on here? And then the S26 will be available on the East Coast on March 11th. I'm like, I'll just wait because my phone's like not really charging all the way anymore. Yeah, so if you are looking to upgrade your Samsung, because the S23 is freaking awesome. And I looked to see what the differences were, and they were like, really, it's just like an evolution thing. There's really not that. They made it like thinner, they made it with a longer battery life, they made it with rounder corners. It's not really anything. Longer battery life, thinner, rounded corners. So it's like, to me, it just seemed to be more aesthetically, more room or longer video time. So, okay, whatever you say. I just hate doing the changeover when they gotta take your old phone and you gotta, I really would like to really get everything out of my phone that I don't really want. Move here with the bubble wrap. Okay, guys. Bye. Bye again. In response to Donna's email, she stated that the round drills are acrylic and the squares are resin. That has been their standard for quite some time. Acrylic round drills tend to feel lighter and glide very smoothly during placement, which gives that satisfying, effortless flow. The resin drills, on the other hand, are chosen for their sharper edges and precision, which may help achieve that clean mosaic style finish with everything aligned. And that was my response from Donna. A thank you for taking the time to reach out and share my experience with Sacred Heart, and wanting to do another one again because of finding so much joy. So I'm sure that was somewhere in the back of my mind to the response from Donna over at Dreamer Designs. Have a good one, friends. Bye.